Now, we have been really excited in the studio today because this particular day, 20th of October, is International World Chef Day. And the theme for this year is Food for the Future. And because we're a show that's all about good food, we have even better chefs. We'll be having loads of great chefs in our environment. Today on the couch with us, we have two amazing chefs. We have Chef Nick and Chef Yinks. Welcome to the studio.
Nice. Thank you.
Nice being here.
Now, Chef Nick has already shown us some of his knife skills. Yeah. Thankfully, none of our fingers came off on the chopping board because of how you taught me how to hold a knife. Yeah. But there's so many little intricacies not a lot of people understand about what it is to be a chef. Mm-hmm. So that's the question I'll start with. Chef Yinks, what does being a chef mean to you?
Okay, first let me just say congratulations to all the chefs and happy World Chefs Day. Mm-hmm. Okay, so being a chef, you know, it's about service. You know, it's pretty much passion to see a smile on the face of people when you create a meal and they enjoy that meal. You know, so pretty much being a chef is about service. Like I always say to my students, if you don't have a heart for service, you don't have any business being in this industry. Do you understand? So it's a whole lot about understanding. And then as you grow in the industry, it's also about understanding management. So you see, a lot of people don't understand that about being chefs. Being a chef is actually being a manager. You know, it's the word chef is a French word that is like chief. Okay. Do you understand? That means like manager, like, you know, somebody who is in charge. You understand? So it's not just about the ability to cook, but it's also about the ability to manage, you know, and to not just manage the kitchen, but manage the people as well. As chefs, we're first mentors because we teach, we encourage, we develop other people. You know, and I give it to Escovier, you know, because, I mean, he started with a military background, and also, if you look into the kitchen, we're called the Brigade of Chefs. So we're also very disciplined people. So, you know, we believe when your chef says jump, you don't ask why, you say how high. Do you understand? Because the business we do is about, it's time-based. Our guests are waiting. We don't want to waste their time. We're also particular about guest satisfaction. Do you understand? So there's a whole lot. You know, it's not something that you can put in a nutshell. You know, that the main faces to being a chef.
I like what you said there. It's time-bound. You have guests waiting. You know, you have to get a certain amount of food out of the kitchen at a certain amount of time. And then, of course, food has to be a particular temperature before it even leaves the kitchen. There's so many different things I've always admired about chefs. But I want to throw the same question to you, Chef Nick. What does being a chef mean to you?
Well, I think it meant the whole world to me. Yeah, because basically in all my 20 years plus, I've been a chef. I've never worked anywhere before. So I think all my experience has been in the kitchen. And there was a time I thought I could do something different. Okay. And I left the kitchen to work with a kitchen equipment company then. Okay. And after probably 6 months to 1 year, and I think I'm missing out so many things. So one day I told the owner that I think I need to go back to where I belong. Because it was like boring and never like I just go to work, sit in the office, close by 5 o'clock, pick my laptop and come back home. And I said, no, that's not what we do in the kitchen. It's a fun place to be actually.
All right.
Yeah, like I say, for the past 20 years plus in the kitchen, I've never spent Xmas outside the kitchen. Because, I mean, one of the best times to be in the kitchen is during festivity. Because you see family coming around. So, unfortunately, our family are left alone. But then it's passion and it's what we love doing. And I think it's an interesting
So we touched on something in the kitchen earlier. We touched on food safety. Now, not a lot of people understand the intricacies of being food safe, especially in the hospitality industry. There are hotels, restaurants, airlines, they all manage food. But let's hear some of the basics about food safety that you have put in place in your kitchens.
Okay. So then there is the basic ASAP, HACCP, which is Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points. Okay, which is practically like the simplest form of criteria that you can use to guide against, you know, food contamination or cross-contamination as you may have it. You have the ISO, you know, all of that you use in big factories and all of those places.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it is to guide against food cross-contamination. So it starts from the farm. As soon as the food is being delivered, you know which one to take care of first. So you take care of the frozen food that goes into the freezers. You take care of, you know, the ones that go into the refrigerators before you start to take care of the ones that are going into the dry store. You know, you have to understand that you don't keep chemicals in the same store as you keep food.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because there's some of this food, especially foods that have sugar in them, they attract or they absorb, you know, the smell from the chemicals.
Okay.
So you see, so sometimes you see when you go to some supermarkets and you buy a loaf of bread, at the end of the day when you're eating the bread, you can actually perceive detergent smell in it. So it is poor, you know, storage.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that's part of it. And then when it comes to the production space, you sanitizing your workstations, cleaning your workstations, making sure that you have color-coded boards, that is, you know, you have different colors for different items, that you're making sure that even in your refrigerator, you're not keeping raw food above cooked food. You keep cooked food on the top shelf, and you keep raw food at the bottom shelf. Do you understand? And then, you know, you have to also avoid like beef and chicken touching each other. You have to wash your hands, you know, after every task, before and after every task. You know, so when you've dealt with vegetable, not even just vegetables now. If, for instance, I've dealt with tomatoes, I have to wash my hands before I start dealing with onions. Before I now start dealing with the peppers, I have to wash my hands. I work with the, you know, I don't use the same knives that I've used for poultry or for beef or for proteins on vegetables. You know, so those are the kind of things that, and then you don't touch your body. You don't touch your body while you're in the kitchen. Because you will be amazed the amount of bacteria that is around the nose. You know, or on your skin. So if you touch your skin, then it means you have to go back to wash your hands.
You know, Chef Nick actually touched on that. He touched on the fact that you have to change the boards. So, for instance, okay, so I want to get color-coded boards now. So which color board do I use for veggies? What do I use? And then what's the debate about wooden versus plastic boards? That debate.
Okay, well, actually, there's a lot about the wooden board. I think is an outdated. Then it's allow people. We use the wooden board then, but now when everybody become conscious of his health and food, so the plastic board is much more better because easier to be washed and scrubbed off. Rather, like you use a wooden board and you cut the meat, all the juice and the blood just gets soaked into the wood. You hardly will take it off that no matter how you wash it.
Fantastic.
But the plastic is just easier for you to clean it up and you take it off.
So the theme, I know that there's so much we can talk about on that particular issue, but let's go back to the theme. The theme is food for the future, right? So let's talk about what the association...
Healthy food for the future.
Healthy food for the future. Let's talk about what the association is doing to celebrate this thing.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go?
Go anyway.
Okay, so there's a lot that we're doing, you know, and we've been doing this for quite a number of years now. So basically, this period, what the World Chefs Association does is it encourages chefs to take in younger, you know, chefs or even children from the primary school and the secondary school to introduce them to the vocation, you know. So, you know, the thing is, we're talking healthy food for the future. In talking about healthy food for the future, we're also saying that we need to consider the earth. Do you understand? To make sure that as we're trying to keep we ourselves healthy, we must keep the earth healthy as well. So we're using things that are sustainable. Do you understand? And then we're saying also that, okay, like for today, what we're going to be doing, we're all going to be gathering at the Lagos liaison office.
Okay.
That's in Olowora, you know.
Okay.
And we're going to have a few students from secondary schools and primary schools coming around. Okay. And then we're going to be having food demonstrations, showing them what it means to be a chef. Okay. We're going to be talking, you know, having vocational talks about what it means to be a chef, you know. And then, like I said before, as chefs, we're mentors. We're mentors. We train and we encourage younger people, you know, to be better at what they're doing. So, you know, yes, that's part
Thank you so much for what you do, and congratulations on all your awards. And the accolades really are to you, because you're the ones that stand for hours to make sure we get those beautiful plates of food coming out on time, right temperature, and tasting great. Big shout out to Chef Nick and Chef Yinks for coming to the studio to talk to us. And it is, of course, World International Chefs Day. We still have some beautiful chefs in the kitchen, hard at work, but let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more.